Shalom, giving honor and praise to the Creator and the Maker of heaven and earth. We are in Deuteronomy chapter 18, verse 15. It says, "The Lord thy God will raise up unto thee a prophet from the midst of thee, of thy brethren, like unto me. Unto him you shall hearken, according to all that thou desirest of the Lord thy God in Horeb, in the day of the assembly, saying, Let me not hear again the voice of the Lord my God, neither let me see this great fire any more, that I die not." Now, in order to understand this kind of prophecy, you got to understand who was speaking and who was being spoken to in the history concerning this kind of matter. The person who was doing the speaking was, brothers and sisters, the prophet Moses. The people who were being spoken to were the children of Israel. So let that be noted and understood. All right. And it says in verse 18, "I will raise them up a prophet from among their brethren, like unto thee, and I will put my words in his mouth, and he shall speak unto them all that I command him." So, brothers and sisters, it says that this prophet will be like Moses. All right. So let that be noted and understood. Let's go, if we will, to the book of Joshua, chapter 4, if we will. Joshua chapter 4, verse 14. So we can gain an understanding concerning this. "On that day, the Lord magnified Joshua in the sight of all Israel, and they feared him as they feared Moses all the days of his life." Let's go to Joshua chapter 1, verse 5. So we can gain an understanding concerning this kind of matter. It says this: there shall not any man be able to stand before thee all the days of your life. As I was with Moses, so will I be with thee. I will not fail thee nor forsake thee. So now, right here we distinctly see that Joshua was the successor of Moses, and that the Most High exalted Joshua, and Israel feared, that is to say, respect Joshua as they respected Moses all the days of his life. So that's why when people will sit there and say line upon line and precept upon precept, certain things we have to let it be noted and understood. Now, brothers and sisters, in Deuteronomy 18, it does not name what that prophet is. It says certain characteristics of that particular prophet. So when they say, or some say, brothers and sisters, they'll go right from Deuteronomy 18:18, skip all over the Old Testament, and say that it's talking about Yeshua in the New Testament. Let's go to Jeremiah chapter 1, verse 1, so we can gain an understanding about this matter right here. And it says the following: "The words of Jeremiah, the son of Hilkiah, of the priests that were in Anatot in the land of Benjamin." Moses was a priest, Jeremiah was a priest, "to whom the word of the Most High came in the days of Josiah, the son of Ammon, king of Judah, in the 13th year of his reign. It came also in the days of Jehoiakim, the son of Josiah, king of Judah, unto the end of the 11th year of Zedekiah, the son of Josiah, king of Judah, unto the carrying away of Jerusalem captive in the 5th month." Let's go on into verse 9. "Then the Lord put forth his hand and touched my mouth. And the Lord said unto me, Behold, I have put my words in your mouth. See, I have this day set thee over the nations and over the kingdoms, to root out and to pull down and to destroy and to throw down, to build and to plant." Is that not like what Moses was about? Was he not sent into the land of Egypt to sit there and be a destroyer to it with the plagues and so forth and so on? Now, in Deuteronomy chapter 18, it says that the Most High said that he will put his words in the mouth of the prophet to come. Right in Jeremiah chapter 1, verse 9, it says the Most High said to Jeremiah, "Behold, I have put my words in your mouth." So it's not too hard to figure out exactly what in the world is being stated. So let that be noted and understood. All right, now let's go to Jeremiah chapter 31, verse 9, so we can gain an understanding concerning this kind of subject matter right here. Jeremiah 31, we are in the 9th verse, and it says this: "They shall come with weeping, and with supplications will I lead them. And I will cause them to walk by the rivers of waters, and a straight way wherein they shall not stumble. For I am a father to Israel, and Ephraim is my firstborn." So when you go in Exodus chapter 4, verse 22, it says, "Thus shall you say unto Pharaoh, Thus saith the Lord, Israel is my son, my firstborn." So right here in the book of Jeremiah chapter 31, we distinctly read and see, brothers and sisters, that it says what? For I am a father to Israel, and Ephraim is my firstborn. So it's a relationship that the house of Israel has with the Most High God. And what Christianity unfortunately has done is try to sever that relationship through their own particular doctrine that Israel has with the Father. By saying in order to get to the Father, you got to go through who they say is the Son. Meanwhile, the Most High already said who his Son is, and that's Israel. So if anything being the case, the nations got to go through us, the Son of the Most High, to get to the Father. Let's go, if you will, to Deuteronomy chapter 14, verse 1, so we can gain an understanding. We are in Deuteronomy chapter 14. We're going to start in the very first verse. And I say this in love and respect, quoting line upon line, precept upon precept. Ye are the children of the Lord thy God. You are the children of the Lord thy God. Who's that talking about? It's talking about the nation of Israel. Israel is the children of the Most High. Let's go to Deuteronomy chapter 32, verse 19, so we can gain an understanding concerning this. Because no offense intended, and this is not tit for tat, but a lot of times they say Old Testament Israelites, those non-Messianic Israelites, which is a name you gave Old Testament brothers, which is quite, no offense intended, kind of stupid, because the whole concept of a Messiah is an Old Testament concept. So how are you going to call Old Testament brothers non-Messianic? Stop it. Stop the division. Stop the foolishness, man. Deuteronomy chapter 32, 19. And when the Lord saw it, he abhorred them because of the provoking of his sons and of his daughters. It is talking about the children of Israel. Israel is the sons and daughters of the Most High God. So let that be noted and understood. Let's go to Hosea chapter 14 so we can gain an understanding. Hosea chapter 14. We're going to go to Hosea 14 verse 1. Because they'll say, well, what do you do when you sin? Well, I try not to sin, though I have. Not perfect, but it's kind of scary when you think you already got your atonement already in the bank. That's a dangerous individual, because you liable to do anything because you feel your atonement is already made for you. Hosea chapter 14 and 1 says, O Yisrael, return unto Yah thy God, for thou hast fallen by thine iniquity. Take with you words and turn to Yah and say to him, take away all iniquity and receive us graciously. So will we render the cast of our lips. So what is being spoken about is, if you remember in the other part, in part 1 of this, Old Testament brother responds, we went over Hosea chapter 3 verse 4 and 5, where it says that Israel will be for X amount of days without a sacrifice. Then we went over the situation with Antiochus Epiphanes, when you go into the book of Daniel chapter 8, when the sacrifices were stopped. So now correlating line upon line, when you go now in the book of Hosea, it says that Israel is to return to the Most High and say, so will we render the cast of our lips. Receive us graciously and take away all iniquity. That's what Israel is supposed to and have to do. Nobody died in Calvary or Golgotha for the sins of the nation of Israel. Israel still went through under them same Old Testament curses that Deuteronomy 28 speaks about. So let that be noted and understood. Brothers and sisters, let's go, if you will, to the book of Isaiah 53, because they like to go there. And this is not tit for tat. This is no disrespect to any brother or sister. Let's go to Isaiah chapter 53, verse 1, so we can gain an understanding. All right, it reads as follows. Who hath believed our report, and to whom is the arm of the Most High been revealed? For he shall grow up before him as a tender plant, and as a root out of a dry ground. He hath no form nor comeliness, and when we see him, there is no beauty that we should desire him. Isaiah, brothers and sisters, is speaking in reference about him as an Israelite, and the Israelites in reference with the other nations. That has to be noted and understood. How do we know that? Because there's two different portions in Isaiah 53 verse 1. See, a lot of times they'll go to Isaiah 53 and start in verse 5. Sometimes you can do that, but not all the time, when you just go by one verse type of things. Isaiah 53 verse 1 says, who hath believed our report? Who is that who that Isaiah is talking about? The who in Isaiah 53 1 is the nations, right? Then it says, and to whom is the arm of the Lord revealed? Those are two different entities. There's the one, that's the who, about believing a report, and then there's the one about the arm being revealed. So let's go, if you will, to Deuteronomy chapter 26, if you will. Deuteronomy chapter 26, verse 8, so we can gain an understanding concerning this kind of matter, so we can see who the arm of the Most High was revealed to. All right? Deuteronomy chapter 26. We are in verse 8. And it says the following, so we can gain an understanding. And the Lord brought us forth out of Egypt. Who came out of Egypt? Israel. And the Lord brought us, Israel, out of Egypt with a mighty hand and with an outstretched arm and with great terribleness and with signs and with wonders. So who was Isaiah 53 verse 1 talking about? And to whom of the arm of the Most High been revealed? The arm, or the Zeroah, or the strength that is of the Most High, was revealed to the nation of Israel. That's what it talks about. Let's go back there if we will. We are in the book of Isaiah chapter 53 verse 1. Who hath believed our report? The nations don't believe the report of the nation of Israel. Even to this day, they're like, oh, that Bible, that Old Testament, that stuff is hogwash and it's a myth. Nobody believes our report. But it's a relationship that we have with the Father. It says what? And to whom is the arm of the Most High been revealed? It was revealed to Yisrael, Israel. For he shall grow up before him as a tender plant. Now, before we get real quick into how that's mistranslated, because Isaiah chapter 53 verse 2, and you read in the Hebrew, is in the past tense. All right? Because it says, Waya'al koyonek, and he grew up. Waya'al is the past tense. It's the same word that's used in the Hebrew when you go into the book of Judges, when it says, in that Malach, or the angel of the Most High, went up. It's the same word in the Hebrew when you go to Joshua chapter 10 verse 7, when it says, and he arose up, or and he ascended. So that's speaking in reference with the past tense, all right? In Isaiah chapter 53 verse 2 in the Hebrew. But now they put it in the King James and in other references in the future tense, so that way people can get thrown off by thinking it's talking about something different. See, it's a game they playing. So who been misled in the scriptures? For he shall grow up before him as a tender plant. So even if you want to take this translation, let's see who grew up before who as a tender plant. Let's go to Jeremiah chapter 2, verse 21. So they're going to sit there and say, oh, the Old Testament Israelites, they don't know line upon line and precept upon precept. All right, let's go in. Jeremiah chapter 2, 21 says, yet I, speaking of the Most High in Israel, yet I had planted thee, Israel, a noble vine, wholly a ripe seed. How then art thou turned into a degenerate plant of a strange vine unto me? So when it says he grew up, we're going to take it from the Hebrew. He grew up before him as a tender plant. That's talking about Israel growing up before the Most High. And as a root out of a dry ground. The dry ground was the wilderness that the children of Israel was in. Because when you go to Numbers chapter 11, they complain about, oh, we in this desert. Oh, we ain't got nothing to eat. Oh, we ain't got no fish. Oh, we ain't got no melons. We ain't got no leeks. We ain't got no garlic. All we got is this manna. So that was the dry ground, that desert that the children of Israel was in. So when you go to Ezekiel chapter 16, and it says that the nation said to Israel, we don't want to have nothing to do with you. And the Most High in Ezekiel 16, when you read in your own time, it says, behold, I have said unto thee, while you, Israel, was in your blood, live. Yea, I said unto you, while you was in your blood, live. You know what that's talking about? When a baby is born, a baby has blood all over it. So when Israel was becoming a nation, it says, Israel out of a dry ground, he hath no form and comeliness. And when we, the nations, see him, Israel, there is no beauty that we should desire him. He is despised and rejected of men, a man of sorrows and acquainted with grief. If you know the Israelite history, you know good and well that Israel was rejected of the men. Esau didn't want Israel to pass through. Moab tried to hire people to curse Israel. Ammonites tried to sit there and make war against Israel. The Egyptians tried to go against the nation of Israel when Israel was leaving out of the land of Egypt. So when it says, and rejected of men, a man of sorrows and acquainted with grief, it says, and the children of Israel did evil again in the sight of Yah several times in the book of Judges, and the Most High deliver them over into the hands of their enemies and to be spoiled. That's part of the grief that Israel came about. So you have to know the history of the nation of Israel to understand Isaiah the 53rd chapter. So, brothers and sisters, in concluding this particular portion out, Israel needs to come together. And after all having been heard, after I spoke, after all the other brothers and sisters spoke, at the end of the day, fear the Most High, keep his commandments. And nowhere in the commandments are we told to argue or to debate on who anybody think a Messiah is. Shalom.